Hi, this is Jamila. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a long while since I've posted anything up regarding my journey uh, into my ancestry, but I have some exciting news. Um, I'm going to be going to Nigeria for the very first time to my ancestral village next month. So in exactly like, I don't know, 5 weeks, no, maybe 4 weeks, I will be getting on a plane, going to Nigeria. So let me just say that I'm nervous. That's just an understatement. I have so many fears, anxiety, but it's not unnormal, for me, or not, unusual for me to not have fears and anxiety. I'm a very brave person. I take a lot of brave steps, but inside of me still, there's always some type of anxiety fight going on. So it's no different this time. We plan to go to the capital, Abuja, and then straight to Anambra. So, it's exciting. It's exciting to know that I'm going to the actual place where my ancestors were from, one of the places. But it's still a little nerve-wracking. But I'm ready to do it regardless. How did we get to this point? So just to give you a synopsis, a short recap of everything that's happened so far. So, I took the test and, I found my cousins. I think that was more important to me than the actual DNA test. Well, you have to take the test to get your cousins, but like the results they gave me are like crazy because, the ancestor would be like, you're from this place, but it'll have like 4 or 5 countries that are included in that place. So that's not helpful. To me, I'm like, okay, well, which one specifically? But they can't tell us that yet. They don't have the capabilities to do that yet, which that's understandable. It is what it is. It's going to get better. The fact that our DNA, my DNA is still there means every time they update and they get closer and closer and closer, my info's right there, so I can get that too. But finding out who my cousins were a big deal to me, because then you can just ask the person about their family history. And a lot of my cousins, they've been in the same place for, their family has for as long as they can remember. They can go back 17th century or 1700s, sorry. And some can even go back even further. And they tell you that they haven't moved from this spot. This is where they've been. This is where they, whatever. So just based off of what they've told me, I've been able to get a lot of information. I have cousins that are Igbo. I have a lot of Igbo cousins, and I'm sure lots of African Americans do too, but I have a lot. And one particular one was it had a higher number, a DNA match to me than the others. So she was the one that I reached out to all of them, but she was the one that I was really interested in because of how high her numbers was, and the fact that she not only matched me, but she matched several other people too, including my mother. So that was really good for me, because I'm like, okay, I need to find out what this lady knows, what my cousin knows, so that I can know it too. So that's how we got to Anambra State. I went to do a naming ceremony at the Igbo Union in Seattle back in September of last year. And from that, they told me I had to join the union first so they get to know me, I can get to know them. I thought it was an unusual request, but then again, I was coming to them with an unusual request, a naming ceremony. Did I need them to do it? No. But I wanted them to. I wanted to be, a part of the community, because that's what my ancestors, what community they were a part of. So it would have been tradition. It would have kept going had, the slave trade 400 years wouldn't have happened. So I agreed. And let me just tell you that for the past year, almost a year, we've been very busy. We've been to meetings every month, with them. I'm on 2 committees right now in the union. I chair one committee and I'm a part of another one. Sometimes I'm in 3 different committees. I think it's safe to say they trust me and I trust them now. I mean, there's a lot of times where I was just unsure about it, but the most important thing too that happened being a part of the union was I instantly connected with a woman, and she is from Anambra State, and it was like this has to be God, this has to be, fate, because we connected immediately. And we spent time together. Her family came to my home. I've been to her home. She's teaching me lessons in Igbo. Like, we really bonded. And she's the one that I'm going to Nigeria with. So I just think that God had his hand in all of this. So, and today just so happened that I might be joining a second union, but I don't know yet. Because I've been online and I've read like my friends like, come on, let's go, we're gonna do this. But I've read the guidelines of joining the group, and I don't think I meet those guidelines. Like, you have to be born in Nigeria, which I was not. My ancestors were, but I was not. So it'll boil down to if they're willing to make an exception for me. And if they do, great, that's wonderful. I'll be there. I'll be supportive, I'll just like I am in the union that I'm in right now. But if not, if it's a hard, they don't want me to do it, I respect that. Like, I have the utmost respect for those women, and I'll see them at events. Like, we get invited to all kinds of Igbo events, and we go. For the most part, we try to make as many as possible. So if they, if this is not going to work for me to join the second union, it's not a big deal whatsoever. I still support them. Matter of fact, it's funny because I got a phone call from one this morning, a lady just out of nowhere on the WhatsApp, because I have to have WhatsApp to communicate with my Igbo community. And she was asking me if my husband would work at the event. And I was just like, okay, So, I mean, it's like, that's funny that she would call me on today to ask me that. And we're getting ready to go to this meeting later today to see about joining this particular group. But I leave everything in God's hands. And, if that's what he has for me, then, I'm on board. I've also been doing a lot of other things too, in the community. If they throw something, the African community, I try to make it out there, me and my family. I want my children to be more involved, more culturally aware of, the African community and what's going on there and what's happening, and to take part in it, because it is part of us. It's just a part that's been void for, 400 years, but it doesn't mean that it has to continue that way. It doesn't have to still be, something that we're not a part of. We can be a part of it too, starting now. So I don't know how far my kids will go. I want them to, but I know that I'm going to do my part to try to introduce them and try to keep them motivated, and then it'll be up to them, when they get older. So, yeah. So my fears about the trip. Okay. So my fears are flying. That's my first fear. Yeah. I've never flown for more than 5 or 6 hours straight. My first flight is 9 hours. And then my second flight is 6. It's like 8. I don't know. It's total 18 hours of flying. So I might be getting those numbers confused. The first one is really, really, really long. And then the second one is almost as long. So I'm very nervous about that. And I'm going by myself. So I'm not going with my husband. I'm not going with my children. I'm going with a friend. And we're not even on the same flight. For the first flight, we're not together, but we do meet up for the second flight. So yeah, she's taking a stop, but I don't want to take a stop in the United States. I want to go straight from the United States to Europe to Africa. That's just how I want to fly, because it's my first time and I don't want to make too many stops, right? To get off, get back on, get off. It's too stressful for me. I'm already going to be a ball of nerves, so I don't want to do that. So the flight is definitely the first thing that I'm worried about. The second thing that I'm worried about is being in a place where I've never been. I'm usually very navigationally inclined. I got the United States down pat. I can drive anywhere. You can drop me off even a place I've never been, and I can figure out how to get to the freeway and go on about my business. Well, in large cities anyway. But this time, it's going to be in a place that I don't know, in a place I've never been, and I'm with somebody who that I trust, but not my family. So it's going to be, that's a big fear. Number 2 is going to a new place, obviously. I think I'll be very emotional, and I think that it's going to be interesting. However, my third fear is food. So I'm a picky eater as it is. I'm a very picky eater. You know, I'm 40. I eat the things I like to eat, and I don't prioritize food as important. It's not important. It's just something I got to do, you know, to keep my body moving. So it's not super duper important. I like food. I like good food, but I don't like spicy food. I don't like spicy food. And, you know, I don't like strange food. Like I'm not adventurous when it comes to, you know, food. Like if somebody tries to offer me something, like I've turned down goat many times, many times, and I'll continue to turn it down. Like I get offered every event that we have, every Igbo event, there's a goat, and I always turn it down because I don't want to eat a goat. It's just mentally, it doesn't jive with my brain. So I just rather pass on it, because if I'll spend way too much time thinking it through versus just putting it in my mouth. So I don't do it. Yeah, I don't like spicy. At the last meeting, they had a dish and they were like, this is the best dish in the whole world. And everybody was just eating. I said, sure, I'll have some. And it was like some leaf. It wasn't bitter leaf. It was something else. And it was very spicy. I literally put it in my mouth and my mouth caught on fire. It caught on fire so quickly that I didn't know what to do. So I had to drink wine, because we serve wine at meetings. I had to drink some wine to try to put out the fire. And I could definitely not eat any more of that. But my husband came and he ate it all without any liquid whatsoever. So he's amazing like that. Like his stomach can take anything. I have a very weak stomach. Like I you know, they say that travelers will get like stomach issues. I already get stomach issues from being here. I remember like last week I went and got some fried chicken from the grocery store, from Safeway. I had 2 drumsticks, and like less than, after I ate it, probably about 5, 10, 15, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes later, I was on the toilet just like that. So it could be anything. Like my stomach just senses that something's not right. Somebody didn't wash their hands while they was cooking, or I don't know what it could be, but my stomach immediately dismisses it. And that's that. I do, every time I go to like a place that like Din Tai Fung or something like that, I love eating it. Tastes good, tastes great, but I gotta go to the bathroom like an hour later, you know. Or dairy, I'm lactose intolerant. Anything with dairy is gonna make me go. I love to eat it, and I'll eat it anyway, but I will go. So they tell me that, you know, I might get stomach issues. Okay, yeah, I'm used to that, so no biggie. Probably bring some Imodium, see if that might. I've never used anything for my stomach issues, except for when I was pregnant with my twins, because I don't know what they were doing with my stomach, but every night, 3 a.m., I was on the toilet. So I probably tried bring some stuff with me, tablets or whatever. The other thing that I'm worried about, besides the food and stomach ache stuff, is, I guess, safety. A lot of people say it's not safe. They tell me I'm going to get kidnapped. This is what people tell me here. I haven't left yet, but they told me I'm going to get kidnapped. They also told me I'm going to get robbed. Just kidnapped and robbed are the 2 things that they think will happen. Or killed, sorry. How can I forget that? So killed, robbed, or kidnapped. Those are the 3 things that they feel will happen to me in Nigeria. A lot of people don't see me coming back. So that really, I'm trying to stay away from people who talk like that, because all they're doing is feeding my anxiety, and I don't need anybody to feed my anxiety. I can feed my own anxiety. Yeah, I don't think I worry so much. I think killed maybe, just because I've seen on YouTube the videos of how people drive, and I'm like, holy crap, yeah, that's bad, you know. But I'm not going to be driving, so, you know, hopefully that shouldn't be an issue or concern, hopefully. But for the most part, I'm super excited. I think that whenever, you know, something's really scary and people don't know, they say things that are hurtful, and without knowing, because they don't know any better, and they don't. I'm surrounded by people who don't know any better, except for my husband, who's from China, so he understands things, you know, a lot better. But as far as my mother, my sisters, my sister, you know, any friend or whatever, Facebook or whatever, you know, they give me bad vibes about going to Africa. But me personally, I'm excited, I'm confident, I'm ready, and I want to see what it has to offer. I want to see where my ancestors came from. I want to put my feet on African soil for the first time. So I've been praying for this trip and I got it. So there's just nothing more, you know, that I need. I'm really happy and excited and ready to do this. So I'm gonna get my visa on Monday, which is 2 days from now. I'm worried about that. I gotta go down to California to get the visa, and they got earthquakes going on down there. So I mean, maybe I won't, nothing will happen to me in Nigeria, but I go down to California and God only knows. Pray for me, everybody. Shoot. But I'm just saying, you know, we don't know. You know, we don't know what the Lord has in store for us. We hope only good things. But I mean, you know, we can't be afraid to try, to get out and try and see if it's worth it. And I feel it is. Am I scared? Yes. Do I want to leave my children? Not really. But I feel like I need to do this. So I'm ready. But I'll probably do another video after I get my visa. Let you know how it goes. I think I got all my paperwork I need for it, all in my suitcase and ready to go. But we'll see. Till next time. Gotta go.